Hey y'all, Tim here, taking Win Farmstead. Alright, so the snow's all gone. It's not 20 degrees outside anymore, so it's time to get back to work. Now that it really started, it's just a little more comfortable now. So, we've been primarily feeding our Kunes a wet corn diet. And corn's getting really expensive and actually getting kind of hard to get a hold to now. And we're wanting to transition into whole grains to get their systems ready for going back out in the pasture come summertime, spring anyway. So we realized in buying a bunch of cracked corn, which will soak better, and some whole grains, what we want to do is put them in something, mix them and turn them, kind of like a scratch feed, and get the water on it and give them time to start fermenting out. So what we're going to need is something big enough to hold 150 pounds of food and still give us access so we're not digging down into the bottom of a barrel. And I'll show you what I got in mind in just a bit. All right, so what we want to do is we're going to take a plastic 55-gallon drum and we are going to turn it long ways and cut a rectangular opening, a door hatch, sort of like you would do a grill. But to do that, since it is round, we need to do something to get it up off the ground and keep it from rolling. So what I'm thinking is a couple of inverted pallets and using them as a rock stand to set it in. That way we don't have to drill any holes in it. That will let our fermentation liquid run out. So we'll see how that works. We've got the pallet that's already on the ground. We'll take this little top of it and invert it. And since it is so much wider, we're going to we're going to delicately cut this side of it off, screw it down in this pallet, get rid of these two pieces right here in the middle, and then our drum will sit right in the middle of it without rolling out. So that will be what we're doing starting now. Rough and tumble version, but as you see now, we've got an open tray. Lay it right here on top of the other one, push it up, and the lower boards will give us something to screw into to lock it down. Recently, in the middle of all this and making an attempt at building this channel, we've had to start asking a few questions of ourselves as why are we doing this? And I think I've told you before, it was a good way in the early days of buying this property to let the kids, parents, handful of friends and family that were interested know what we were doing in the remodel of this old trailer that we were trying to salvage. And it worked well for that. It was an easy way for them to tap on. We can send them a link, let them know, hey, we've redone this, we've done this, and just give them a way to be part of that, to know what was going on, what we had going on, and without having to try to email large files and all. Basically, it was a video storage and sharing platform, just among family and friends is what it started out as. Really, sometime later, that I realized that there were people I never expected to be interested in what we had going on out here, that were very interested in finding out what we had going on out here. So I changed it up, made everything public, and started trying to promote it a little bit. Nothing on a grand scale. Honestly, words like monetize and all never occurred to us. Still don't know that I care either way. Sure, it'd be nice. Why not? You can do frugal, right? Along this journey, come to realize that we've actually connected pretty good to some of you guys through your channels. And seeing what we've learned from y'all, we realize we have some knowledge, we have some skill sets and experience that we can pass on as well. That's what we want to try to do. Most of you have probably realized we do what we do on a very limited budget, meaning like $0. Not necessarily zero, but as close to it as we can get. We've never lived a lifestyle that chased the dollar sign. Just wasn't that interesting to us. And honestly, we'd rather build and do and have as close to free as possible, because then everything we've got, is an extension of who we are. Because we have poured literal blood, sweat, and tears into it. Just going out and buying it or paying somebody else to do it, it's not an option, nor is it a desire. So we're going to change the focus a little bit. I don't know if it's changing the focus. We're going to refocus. And what we're going to focus on is frugal homesteading. How to do as much as you can possibly do without investing a lot of money into it. How to find the free stuff, how to find the very cheap stuff, how to utilize items in ways you may have not considered before. Case in point, you've seen the barrel we're fixing to use in a raised bin video. You've seen it used as water troughs. Now you're fixing to see it used as a closed lid fermenting tank. Just different things you can do. Stay with us, you'll see tons of ways to use pallets. They make pretty good stands for inverted tanks, apparently. I hope. That's what we're going to try. And you'll be with us as we try and as we fail. And we'll see what works and what don't. We'll share it with you. But that's kind of going to be our focus moving forward. And we hope that that's something that our audience builds from and really appreciates, and something that they can utilize. So I'm going to stop monologuing, finish these last 2 screws, and we're going to go get a drum. Alright, so this is our food grade 55-gallon drum. I picked these up through Facebook Marketplace several months ago. I think we ended up buying 10 to 12 of them for $5 a piece. The guy had a bunch of them, he's just trying to get rid of them. If I am to believe what he told me, I have no reason not to. They came from a restaurant supply and contain cooking oil. I have since cleaned them all out with hot water and some mild soap and stored them up. I just emptied a little bit of water that had gotten in these from being set out in the edge of the woods for a while. I do want to put it so that it is oriented up and down here, so that I can still use this lower drain if I need to drain it, and then maybe just have to tilt it a little to get the last out. So that's the way it will go. We will slide it up into the tray, and try that right now. And it's not a perfect fit, so it's got a little play in it. So what are we gonna do? I've got some options. We will probably take a piece of round wood and stick in there, lock it into place, because I do not want to drill into this container. So we'll go back on pause, and when I figure out how to fix this, we'll move forward. All right, so we had a bit of a wobble problem in that it was too wide. So I've got these old posts, you've probably seen them before laying around. So I'm thinking if I take that one, cut it in half, we can use half on either side, set it where we want to tighten it up, and screw it down, and that'll take care of that. That's what I think. fits with one in there. Not quite, but close. Solve it. Yeah, pretty good. I think they can flip it. Perfect. I do believe that'll work. Next thing we need to do, cut a hole and get ready to put some hinges in it. Alright, this is a good place to make a special mention all about the tools. This little orbital saw is amazing in a lot of applications. Turns out this particular one is not. I think the teeth on this fast wood bit are just too wide. But I'm going to keep going with it because this is what I've got, and I don't feel like going all the way up to the house with this project to be able to get to an extension cord for the jigsaw. But maybe a tighter one, maybe a battery powered jigsaw, maybe saw it by hand. I may even try that here in just a second. Let's see how that works. But we got the first cut in. I'm going to go ahead and attach hinges so it doesn't go anywhere and it's still lined up. Alright, so I started to build, and I've got a couple little gate hinges that I think I'm going to try to get them over the ribs here. That'll be a little thicker spot to screw them to. That'll work. Now, let's see. Test the theory. Can I cut a straight line here? About here. Alright, that's almost done. Alright, so a couple things. We just cut an opening into a tank, or we've almost completely cut an opening into a tank. So the door is going to be a little bit smaller than a hole, so I'm going to need a catch. I found this out in the woods. Teeth on it shot. I've got several, and this is not one I use too often. It's got a handle and it's got a lip. So I think we're going to screw this in right here. It will enable the lip to catch and a handle to lift up with. So that's our plan for that. See if it works. Alright, be right back. I'm using a hatchet for this. Alright, the tiniest to start a hole to see if we can get the screws to that. Finished the chores. I like it. Alright, so I will come back later and do something about these so they're not all spiky, and cut my arms, my wife's arms. So yeah, I need to get a towel, some of that out. There we go. Next time you see it, we'll have some grain in it mixed up. We'll add some water. And there's a 55-gallon drum that we can still utilize almost at 100%. And I can reach the bottom without my fat butt falling into the top of it. Well, we now have 100 pounds of cracked corn and 50 pounds of 5 oats mix, which you can't see anymore because I've already mixed it by hand pretty good. So that will be our mixture for our fermentation while they finish up these last 2 tubs of straight corn. Should be about 4 days. This stuff will be saturated real good, ready to go, and we'll see how they do on it. So we're going to fill it up till there's about 1 inch of water over top of the grains and the corn, and let it start soaking. These are grazers. There's not a lot out here to graze on right now. The pasture area out here we've got turned, nothing but dirt now. We are working out this direction to expand that pasture a little bit into the woods. But until spring comes and everything starts greening back out, there's not going to be any pasture eating. But they're low metabolism animals. They're slow to mature. A lot of fat on them. They have been maintaining their weight with just a couple of cups of soak fermented corn in the morning and then again in the evening. And we'll probably do the same thing here. They still seem very healthy. They're not losing weight, especially that one there. We've been trying to get her to lose weight. She ain't losing weight. So they ought to be pretty good shape. And then, of course, in the summer when we get the areas separated out where we can move them and rotate their pastures, they won't need as much of this at all. In fact, we'll go down to probably as little as a cup a day and see how that fares for them. But this is almost it. All right, so that was a simple, easy build. 55-gallon drum, food grade. Lateral cuts on the top to make a door with some hinges. An old grout trowel for a handle. I've got less than $7 in it, and that's the truth. So, yeah, it's about as cheap a way as you can get. And I like it. I think it'll work. If it'll work for you, give it a try. See what happens. All right, so this is Tim. Let's take it away in Farmstead. Drop us a line in the comments. Let us know what kind of content you would like. We'll be glad to hear from you. Appreciate you watching. As always, hit that subscribe button. Share the videos if you know anybody that think they can benefit or just enjoy watching the videos. And remember to ring that bell. That way, every time we put something new out, you'll be the first to know about it. Take care. Keep watching. Till I'm out.